13 hours on this car yesterday. I was up till almost 2 o'clock in the morning, around 1:30 to be exact, getting this thing primed up, body work all done, and ready for paint tomorrow. Today we're gonna sand it all down by hand, 400 grit, do a good job on it, get all the little minor imperfections if there are any with a little bit of glaze putty, reshoot those areas with primer, and we are literally in the final stages before paint. And I did make one mistake last night when I was priming, and I got everything on video, but I just want to tell you what I did. So I was priming it with my Evercoat Feather Fill, my polyester putty, super thick stuff. And if you're spraying this stuff, you can reduce it. I did reduce it a little bit, but you want to spray with a big tip, a 1.9 at the smallest. You could even get it out of a 1.8, but I used a 1.9 to a 2.2. That's the range where you want to spray this stuff at. It dries really quick, and the mistake that I had was I was using my Warwick 980 gun here, a filter in here that I totally forgot about. So I was spraying it with the filter in here, and all of a sudden, like after a couple of minutes of spraying, my fluid started getting less and less and drying. It was wide open fan, but it was coming out like an inch, like spraying like a little, and it was drying up, and it was like, man, what the heck is going on? I couldn't figure it out until I dumped everything out of the cup here, trying to take apart the gun to clean it. I thought it was maybe dirty inside, and then I was like, oh, the filter. So what I'm doing here is using my DA to help me out on time. We're cutting down all of our filler primer here, our polyester putty primer down with, I'm using a 320 grit. You could use anywhere from a 320 to a 360 and be safe, because you don't want to cut too much and you don't want to cut too fast either, right? All we're doing here in this stage is taking out all the sand scratches, taking out the orange peel, and getting it nice and flat. Once we do that, we're going to go over the whole car with 400 grit wet sand and wash it down on a circular motion, right? Like I showed you in the rest of the VIP course. In the beginning part of the course, we go over this. So if you want to see that process, I urge you to check out the Toyota RAV series or the other Miata project that we did. I'm assuming that you've already watched those videos. So this one, I am just skipping that process to try to cut to the chase for you. So again, we're using some cheap 360 grit here, 320 grit on our filler primer just to help us out on time. Go over all of that. Then what we're going to do is water sand everything down. And all I'm doing right here is we're just using some 400 grit wet sand, and we are sanding down our mirrors. Simple as that. Alright, you could just sand right over clear coat like this, get it ready for paint, because all we're going to do is spray, our gold base coat right over that. So you could totally paint right over sanded clear coat. Alright, it's a perfect finish, a perfect foundation. You can see we're finishing up our front bumper cover here with our 400 grit. We're getting in all the little nooks and crannies and smoothing it all out really nicely. And when doing round body panels like this, it's best to use your hand, okay, and just use your palm and go, because a block, you're really not going to get it as nice as you would get it with your hand, because there's so many round edges there. And if you look here, I'm getting inside all the little air dam area here with my fingers and hands, and just sand it nice and smooth. And after that, we're going to wash it down quickly, spray it off, and once you're done, you're going to be able to see the gloss and the water run off of it like this. And once you get it looking glossy like this and it looks nice, the paint job is going to come out nice. Sometimes if you don't scuff properly and you prime, and when you sand it, you're going to come across areas where maybe like right in here, okay, you can see right in here that it wasn't sanded below this primer. So the correct way to do this is, I could actually feel a little ridge here. So tomorrow, while I'm washing it down again, I have to feather in right around here till it kind of looks like this. Alright, right here all we're doing is giving you a little fast forward view of masking the car up, right? So you want to make sure the car is washed, cleaned, blown out, blow all the dust and water out. Sometimes if you want, you could let it sit for a day mask it up the next day, and get ready. And here what we're doing is we're cleaning out our gun, making sure it's nice and clean before we start mixing up our paint and getting ready for base coat, right? And just blowing it out with the air here. It's all you want to do. As long as you have a clean gun, you know, you're ready for paint. We're going to go ahead and put a new neck filter in here as well, and get the gun all set and adjusted. And I show you how to adjust the gun. So we're putting the gun together right now, and how you want to adjust it is this is the fluid flow. So you want to pull the trigger all the way down and tighten, go all the way in as possible, right? Just until it hits, and tighten it up, because we want full fluid flow, right? We want the trigger to go all the way down. If you limit your trigger flow, you're not going to get all the fluid, the paint, and to come out. You know what I mean? So we want full fluid flow, and tighten that up. So I noticed a quick pinhole in this quarter panel, and it's a good thing I have it here, because now I can show you what you could do to take it out quickly. So all I did was put a little bit of glaze putty on it quick. I waited about 20 minutes and let it dry. Now I got a piece of 400, and I'm going to go over this area very lightly in a crisp. Then I'll just wipe it. When you put it on the panel, you want to make sure you put it on very lightly. All right, you want to use the weight of the cloth to go over your panels. All right, and when wiping down your car, you just want to lightly tack it like this to get the dust off. Okay, you're not pushing hard. You're using, you know, just your hand weight, very lightly. We're taking off all the fine lint, the dust. Go around the car, and you're ready for paint. And that's how you want to do it. Okay. Then after that, if your hand. So if you've watched the main course, you're gonna know by now that base coat mixture is 1-to-1. All right, so if you got 8 ounces of raw base coat out of the can, you're gonna want to put 8 ounces of reducer. Okay, so it's just a 1-to-1, a 50-50, whatever you want to call it for base coat. We mix that up, and now what we're gonna do is spray all of our areas that we want gold for our graphics. All right, so we're mixing them because we're gonna be doing the mirrors gold. We're gonna be doing some of the body panels, some of the areas behind the decals. And I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing here to give it a nice two-tone color paint scheme on the vehicle. Alright, so what I'm doing here is poking a couple holes in our paint can on the sides so our excess paint flows back into the can. This is one of my father's old tricks. Works really well. So I'm just getting a screwdriver, popping a couple holes, 3 holes around the can here, so after you pour it, the paint just seeps back in. And I show you how to do this in the rest of the videos as well in the beginning of the course. So here we're doing our 50-50 mixture. We're going to mix it up. You could also eyeball it. If it seems too thin, add a little bit more. I call it the 1-2-3 rule. You know, you take your paint stir out. If it drops like 1, 2, 3, you know that's a good mixture. Okay, and I do it all the time. 1, 2, 3. So it's good. It's a good mixture. Okay, we got our new neck filter in there. Tighten up the gun. We're going to fill our paint cup, then go over the whole car again with we already did our wax and grease remover on the car. We're going to tack it down, and it's going to be ready for paint. So I'll see you in the next series.